Hello student, welcome to digital classes. This video is for class 7, chapter number 7, weather, climate and adaptation of animals to climate. In this video I am going to tell you about weather and climate, maximum and minimum thermometer, then climate, then uh, geographical factor affecting the climate at any place, and then the climate of our country with advanced monsoon and retreating monsoon. Now introduction. Weather and climate have a great impact on our daily life. Weather and climate determines the type of clothes we wear, mode of transport we use, type of food we grow and eat. All the living organisms are adapted to survive in the climatic condition of the natural habitat. Now the weather. The day-to-day condition of the atmosphere at a place with respect to temperature, humidity, rainfall, wind speed, etc. is called the weather at that place. The temperature, humidity, rainfall, snow, wind speed, etc. are the element of the weather. The weather at a place change day every day. Sometimes it is more warm, more humid, more cloudy or more windy. Sometimes it is less warm, less humid, less cloudy or less windy. It may rain for an hour in the morning and then become sunny and clear right after that. Weather is a complex phenomena. It can change suddenly over very short period. The weather may be sunny in the morning, it may get cloudy within an hour or two, and it may rain heavily very soon. Therefore, that is why the weather forecasts are not always right. Now meteorology. Meteorological department of the government collects data on temperature, humidity, wind, etc. and make the weather prediction. Meteorology is the interdisciplinary scientific study of the atmosphere. A meteorologist is a person who study about the weather. Weather experts use computer technology and data from the Earth station and satellite to predict the weather. Now a weather report of 7 days. This is 28 degrees Celsius, 27 degrees Celsius, 26 degree, 27, 29, 26 and again 27 degrees Celsius. Therefore, the temperature of our atmosphere is changing every day. I want every student write a weather report of next 7 days in their classwork copy. Now changes in weather. The weather is generally not the same on any 2 days, and there is a lot of changes in the weather over weeks and months. All the changes in the weather is caused by the sun. For the weather report of newspaper, record the information in the table below and observe the change in the temperature, humidity, rainfall for a week. You have to make a table in your homework copy and write the date, maximum temperature, minimum temperature, maximum humidity, minimum humidity and rainfall, either in homework or a classwork copy. Weather forecasting. Weather forecasting is based on the data collected by the weather balloons, satellites, photographs of the cloud formation, etc. Weather forecasting is helpful to the people in the following way. It allows people to prepare for bad weather. It helps in the planning of daily activities. Now the temperature. Temperature is a measure of the degree of hotness and coldness of an object. The maximum temperature of the day occurs in the afternoon as the earth gets heated by the sun. At the night, as the sun rays do not fall at that place, It cools down, therefore bringing down the temperature. Minimum temperature occurs early in the morning. Especially a special thermometer are used and called as maximum and minimum thermometer. Now the maximum and minimum thermometer. Maximum or the highest thermometer reached during the day and the minimum temperature reached during the early morning are recorded at meteorological stations every day. This information is important for weather monitoring. The maximum and minimum temperature are measured with the help of special type of thermometer commonly called as the minimum and maximum thermometer or maximum and minimum thermometer. The maximum temperature of the day is usually recorded in the afternoon and the minimum temperature of the day is usually recorded in the early morning. The afternoon are hottest and the early morning are the coldest time of the day. Now humidity. Humidity refers to the amount of water vapor present in air. Humidity indicates the likelihood of precipitation. A device is used to measure humidity is called psychrometer or hygrometer. Humidity is also measured using remotely placed satellites. Rain. The greater the humidity, more are the chance of rain. Rainfall is measured by an instrument called rain gauge. Rain gauge is basically a measuring cylinder with a funnel on its top to collect rainwater. In India, rain is mainly brought by two kinds of humidity laden winds. These are the southwest monsoon June to September, which brings heavy rain to most part of the country, and the second is the northeast monsoon November to March, which brings relatively lighter rain. Cloudiness and wind. Cloudiness is full of a cloudy sky having little or no sunshine. It is a cloudy but rainy day. Wind is a horizontal movement of air. Wind is named after the direction from which it comes, like northern wind or westward winds, etc. Now the precipitation and wind. It is any product of the condensation of atmospheric water vapor that falls under gravity. The main form of precipitation include dew, mist, fog, rain, hail, snow, drizzling, etc. Now atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure is defined as the force per unit area exerted against the surface by the weight of the air above that surface. Falling of atmospheric pressure indicates an approaching storm. Rising of atmospheric pressure includes an clear sky. A barometer is a scientific instrument used in meteorology to measure atmospheric pressure. Effect of sun in changing weather. Sun is a huge sphere of hot gas at a very high temperature. Although the distance of the sun from Earth is quite large, still the heat and light energy emitted by the sun is so huge that it is source of all heat and light on the earth. Sun energy absorbed and reflected by the earth's surface, ocean and atmosphere plays an important role in determining the weather at a particular place. Now, climate. Climate of a place is defined as the average weather condition at a particular place over a long period of time, about 25 years or more. Climate varies from place to place. If the temperature of a place is hot for most of the days and if there is most rainfall, then we say that the climate of a place is hot and wet. Example, Kerala. If the temperature at a place is hot for most of the day and if there is less rainfall, then we say that the climate of the place is hot and dry, like Rajasthan. Effect of sun in changing of climate. The angle at which sunlight strikes the earth varies by location, time, etc. Due to the earth's orbit around the sun and its rotation around its tilted axis at the end near the equator, low latitude, the sun rays hits earth's surface almost vertically, almost all year long, cause hot climate. At the pole, high latitude, the sun hardly reaches, cause cold climate on that particular area. The climate zone of India. The climate zone of India can be mainly divided into four climatic zones. First, alpine zone, subtropical zone, tropical zone. In tropical zone, there is two: tropical wet zone, tropical dry zone, and last is the arid zone. Now the difference between weather and climate. Weather and climate differ from each other as follows. Weather is applicable to a smaller area, maybe a city or a small group of cities, whereas climate is applicable to a much larger area, maybe a state or a region. Weather describes short-term atmospheric condition of a place, whereas the climate describes the long-term average 20 to 30 year weather condition of a particular state or a region. Weather at a place may change suddenly, but or whereas the climate change take place very slowly over a long period of time. Now the geographical factor affecting the climate at any place. First is the latitude. The farther away from the equator, the colder the climate become. Means if the place is farther from the equator, that place experience cold, whereas the places near the equator become hot and warm. Air pressure. Air pressure is caused by the unequal heating of Earth's surface. First, low pressure is warm, moist air. It raises and forms clouds. Second, high pressure is cold, dry air. It sinks and creates clear skies. Now mountain barriers. Mountain barriers create a phenomena called the orographic effect or rain shadow. The rain shadow help creating deserts. Examples: Syria, Nevada mountain in CA receive nice amount of precipitation. Las Vegas, NA is in the rain shadow creating a desert climate. Now the mountain climate is affected by mountains. Mountain receives more rainfall than low-lying area because the temperature on the top of the mountain is lower than the temperature at sea level. That is why you often see snow on the top of the mountain all year around. The higher the place is above sea level, the colder it will be. This happens because as altitude increase, air becomes thinner and is able to absorb only a small amount of heat. Continental location. Large bodies of water are sure to heat and cool than land. As a result, water temperatures remain stable and land temperature change frequently. Coastline have stable temperature. Interior of continents has extreme temperature, hotter or maybe colder. Now the ocean current. Ocean currents are giant river of sea water flowing within oceans. Ocean currents flow in circular path first. Warm currents carry water from the low to the high latitude. These make land nearly warmer. Cool currents carry water from the high to low latitude. This make land nearby cooler. Wind belts. Wind is the movement of air from high pressure to low pressure, like when you poke a hole in a tire. The winds are of three types: trade winds, westerlies, polar wind. The distance from the sea. The sea affects the climate of a place. Coastal areas are colder and wetter than the inland areas. Clouds are formed when warm air from the inland areas meets cool air from the sea. Temperature in the central part of any continent vary over a large range. In the summer, temperature can vary hot and dry as moisture from the sea evaporates before it reaches the central part of the continent. El Nico effect. El Nico refers to the irregular warming of surface water in the Pacific Ocean. The warmer water pumps energy and moisture into the atmosphere, altering global wind and rainfall pattern. El, Ni- El El Nino affects wind and rainfall pattern and has been blamed for droughts and floods in countries around the Pacific Rim. The phenomena has caused tornadoes in Florida, smoke in Indonesia, and forest fire in Brazil. In our country, the monsoon eras are largely influenced by the El Nino effects. Now the next factor affecting climate is the distance from the equator. The distance from the equator affects the climate of a place. The equator receives the more sunlight than any other else on the earth. This is due to its position relative to the sun. The diagram show that the equator is hotter because the sun rays falling on a lesser area. It is cooler at the northern and southern poles as the sun rays falls on the wider area. The diagram given along shows the climatic zone of the world. You can see as we go away from the equator, the climate gets cooler. You will see the page number 101 to check these pictures in your book. The topic under the distance from the equator, the earth's climatic zone and the earth's position relative to the sun. Use page number 101 to see this picture. Human activities and industrialization also affect the climate at a place. Now the human activities, many activities of human which influence the climate of a place are large scale cutting of trees means deforestation. There is increase in carbon dioxide oxygen because of there is less trees. Industrialization, heavy industrialization, transportation of goods, etc., consume very large quantity of fossil fuel. The use of fossil fuel is responsible for increasing carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Acid rain and air, water, and soil pollution is also caused by industrialization. The climate in our country, that is India, varies from tropical climate in the south to the temperate climate in the north. In general, most regions in India have tropical monsoonal climate with significant seasonal variation in rainfall and temperature. Certain parts in Himalaya have very cold climate and freezing temperature. The western part of the country has hot and dry climate. In India, the climatic year includes two monsoon seasons: the southwest monsoon June to September, the northeast monsoon November to March. Now the southwest monsoon season, it extends from June to September. Instance heating in northern West India creates low pressure region. Low pressure attract the wind from the surrounding region. After having rain for a few days, sometime monsoon falls to occur for one or more weeks is known as break in the monsoon. Now the retreating monsoon. It extends from October to November. Vertical sun rays start swifting towards northern hemisphere. Low pressure regions swift from northern part of India towards south. Northern plains to the north of river Ganga have extreme climate. Summers are hot and humid, winters are cold. In western Himalayas, summers are pleasant. Certain areas get heavy rainfall during winters. Central India gets heavy monsoonal rain. Western India has hot summer. Coastal area in southwest India get cooling breeze. Inland have pleasant climate with the low rainfall. I hope everyone would understand what I taught in this video related to climate and weather. If there is a problem, you may discuss within the class.